Okay, so we're trying to go live. I'm a couple minutes early, so if you're already seeing me, awesome, fantastic. Thank you for joining me. If you are not necessarily seeing me yet, then obviously you're not going to say anything. All right, this is new for me, and it truly is live, as you can probably already tell. So bear with me for any issues as we try to make sure that all of this happens the way it should. All right, so thank you for joining me. My name is Doug Barra, and I am one of the owners of the Action Coach Team Stage firm here in Miami. And I've been having a lot of people ask me questions about growing business in today's environment. This is why I created this upcoming workshop for next week. Still have 2 minutes before we're truly going to go live here. Yes, I am live right now, but I said I was going to start at noon, so I want to make sure that people have the opportunity to jump in and be here with us. So let me just, again, tell you a little bit about everything that is going on right now. So next week, we have the Master Business Growth Workshop starting on Tuesday. This is going to be a 4-part series, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. The intention is to dive deep into what you need to know how to build your business, to grow your business in today's environment. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's different about today's environment? Well, there can be quite a bit different about today's environment. Even if we're not necessarily talking about the pandemic, all right? And, maybe there's not a huge bit about today's environment that's different for your business. If you're just joining us, we're just getting started right now. I came on live a little bit early because I was a little bit unsure about the technology here. So I wanted to make sure that I was up and running and everybody could see me and hear me. So if you're having any trouble seeing or hearing me, please leave me a comment. And this is a Q&A. So Steve, please start to leave any questions that you would like me to answer, and I will get to them. At this point, I'm going to talk a little bit about questions that I've had in the past and questions that I know are out there. So, if you're in a business that is really struggling with the fact that you can't be in an office or you're trying to get back into the office, these are some serious issues that people are having to deal with right now because of all of the closures from pandemic. And, there's also the whole world of, well, how do I make sure that all of my employees are doing what they're supposed to be doing if we're all remote? Now, that's not necessarily what I'm going to talk about today. But I wanted to kind of bring that up because these are some of the issues that are facing people in today's environment. Now, one of the biggest issues facing people in today's environment is if my business relied on me going out and networking, how do I get new business if I'm not going out and networking? Right? Because a lot of the networking that goes on inside of different kinds of, okay, I'm seeing right now that Facebook is not showing me as being live. So we're working on that. If you're on Facebook and you're not seeing me as live, also look, because I was not able to use the scheduled Facebook Live that I had created. So this would be a new Facebook Live under the same name. So look and see if maybe there isn't a new Facebook Live running with this stream, because I'm not seeing anything on my end that there is an issue with the Facebook Live going out. All right. Just bear with me a moment while I see if I can find out what's going on. Hold on one second. Don't know what is going on then.
You're live on Facebook.
Okay, good. So now I hear that I am live on Facebook. So awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for bearing with me. Once again, I'm Doug Barra, and I am one of the owners of the ActionCOACH Team Sage firm here in Miami. And what we're out to create is a transformation in what it is to be a business owner. Now, regardless of where you are, whether you are in business, have been in business for a long time, or you're just looking at going out into business, because there are a lot of people that are looking to go out in business on their own. Maybe they got laid off from a job, or they just couldn't deal with being inside of an office. There's a lot of reasons why you might have gone out on your own to start a business. And business growth is one of the really important functions that you have to understand of business. Because if you can't grow your business, you're not going to be in a good position, right? One of my mentors, Brad Sugars, actually the founder of ActionCOACH, has a great saying that a business is like a tree. If it's not growing, it's dying. All right. There is no standing still in business. Business is either growing or it's dying. So if you're not growing in your business, then we definitely need to be looking at what needs to happen to start growing your business. So remember, this is a Q&A. Please put in any questions that you have so that I can get those questions answered. One of the first questions that I'm sure is out there is, Doug, and I started talking about this before I heard about that we weren't necessarily live on Facebook. Doug, in today's environment, I can't go out and network to grow my business. What can I do? Well, the reality is we have to move with the times. Right now, the times say we have to do most of our networking virtually, right? So you have to be able to get up on Zoom or on Facebook Lives or on WhatsApp chats or any of these different methodologies. Man, my brain is not pulling them up. There's a dozen new ones that have come out that you can join in to be able to be part of Clubhouse. That was the one I was trying to come up with. To be part of different communities, different networking, and be able to do some networking with people. Right now, I for many years was part of BNI, Business Networks International. They went virtual, and all of their meetings were happening on Zoom. That's a great way to network. If you can't be in person, then networking on Zoom. It's not necessarily quite as, shall we say, personal, but it does work. Now, what do you need to be able to make sure that you can say inside of this kind of an environment? You need to be able to talk about what it is that you do. You need to be able to talk about why you do it. And you need to be able to get people engaged in what it is that you offer. Now, like any kind of marketing, if they don't know how much you care about them, they are not going to care about you, right? People don't care until they know how much you care, right? So they need to understand what it is that you're offering to them. This is what's going to truly have people really be committed to and looking for, how can you help me? So you need to be out there giving out first. This is one of the keys. And how do you do that? You have a clear understanding of where you're going. You have a clear understanding of what are your goals? What is your vision, your mission? So that you can fully understand what is it that you're providing to people, and people can get a real feeling for that. You have to understand who you're marketing to, who are those people, and you have to have a solid foundation so that you can build on to be able to have those people truly get what you're offering them, right? So whatever your product and service is, if you don't have a solid foundation for delivering that, then you're going to have a hard time growing your business, right? Because there's two parts of business. You've got marketing, bringing people into the business, and delivery. That's delivering on this product or service that you're giving them. Those need to be able to be in sync, because if you can't deliver on what you've sold, you're not going to keep customers for very long. And if you aren't getting new customers, you're not drawing new people in, then it doesn't matter how well you deliver on your product or service, there's not going to be anybody buying because you're not bringing somebody in. So both sides have to work together to be able to grow your business. Then there's the whole world of scaling, but we don't necessarily need to get into scaling at this moment. Really, where I want to make sure that you have this full, complete understanding, and this is really what we're going to go deep into inside of the Master Business Growth Workshop that starts next week. So if you haven't registered for that yet, please make sure that you go register for the Master Business Growth Workshop. If you're following us on Facebook, you can search for Master Business Growth. There's a private group that you can go and join of people who are already saying, I want to be part of this program. I want to find out more about it. Once you join that group, you'll see some information about how you can actually get registered for our workshop that starts next week. And what is it looking at? It's looking at, you're here, you're at this kind of beginning stage of either building your business, or you've been in business, but we're in this new environment and you now need to figure out how to get from where you are to the end result, which is I've got a business that is structured to be able to take me to where I want to go. All right. So we're starting here. We're kind of struggling in business. We're not quite sure how to make it all work, right? There's a little bit of chaos going on. Our business isn't really working for us. You know, what we see is a lot of times we're working for the business, and we're going to take that to, we've got a business that's truly structured to be the business that's going to take us where we want to go. All right. And there's a number of steps in between that we have to follow. We have to have a clear understanding of where we're going. We have to have a clear understanding of the destination that we're after, we also have to have a very clear understanding of all of the numbers in our business, right? As a matter of fact, later today, I'm going to release a video on why is it so important that we understand our numbers. And I'm going to talk about some really serious issues that we've seen in clients when they didn't understand their numbers. Then we have to have a very clear understanding of the actual delivery of our products and services, as well as the efficiency inside of our business. And then finally, we have to have a clear understanding of our market and who we're trying to go to and provide these services for. And remember, I said, you want to be focused on making sure that we're giving value to our customers, to the people that we would like to work with. Because if I'm not providing value to them, if I'm focused on just the money, all right, I'm not going to be successful. All right. I mean, just think about a cup of coffee. If I walk into, I could use Starbucks, but I'd really rather not use any. But if I walk into a coffee shop, right, and the only thing they're interested in that coffee shop is getting my money, they don't care whether they give me the coffee that I wanted or that the coffee's any good or that the service is any good. Am I going to come back? No, of course not. However, if I walk into a coffee shop and their main concern is that I'm taken care of, that I get my coffee, that I have an environment for drinking my coffee or getting my coffee where I feel comfortable, right? And that coffee is good and I want to come back, I'm going to continue to come back and get my coffee because I want the coffee, right? I need to have, as the consumer, the understanding that the company is more interested in serving me, taking care of me, than making money, right? So if you're just in it to make the money, you've got the wrong focus. And that's going to be damaging in your ability to grow. So be sure that when you're looking at your business growth, you have all of these pieces in place, right? And like I said, I'm going to go really deep into this during the 4 days of this workshop next week. Okay, we're really going to go deep into this. This is really an opportunity to get your questions answered around anything that has to do with building your business growth. Okay, now, if you have straight questions about what I was just talking about with this workshop that's coming up next week, feel free to enter those as well. I am committed to making sure that all business owners have the opportunity to transform their relationship to business. See, I want this wonderful freedom and enormous, I'm going to say wealth, but I want you to understand that when I say wealth, I'm not necessarily talking about money. Money's included. I mean, obviously, money is part of wealth. But wealth is an abundance of all aspects of your life. Everything that's important to you. If you have an abundance of everything that's important to you in your life, that's true wealth, right? And that's what business ownership can give you if you understand how to grow that business properly, right? And yes, I know many, many business owners are basically a slave to their business. They are struggling with, how do I actually have my business work for me rather than me work for the business? And this is what I'm committed to teaching people. and having people truly get, because business ownership should give you more life. Business ownership should give you more wealth. However, if you don't know the ways to make that happen, it can be a struggle. All right. I talk from experience. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. All right. I started as doing odd jobs for people, you know. So I was basically self-employed when I was, too young to be employed, because I would go and do odd jobs for people because I wanted to be able to provide for people and I wanted to be able to make a little bit of money. Okay. So I've been out as an entrepreneur since long before. Then when I was coming out of college, I got the opportunity to be a contractor and set up my own business. Now, this was amazing for me because I got to learn a lot about how the structures of business work, as far as things like understanding financials, taxes, making sure that I got paid. I was my only employee. And making sure that I delivered on what it was that my customers were looking for. Right? Now, I was lucky in the sense that at that time, I was not finding my own customers. I was working inside of a group where the group found the customers. I simply supplied the work once they found the customers, right? Which was great for me because I didn't have to deal with the typical entrepreneurial seesaw, right? So the typical entrepreneurial seesaw is I chase business, I chase business, I chase business, I chase business, I have to fulfill business, I have to fulfill business, I have to fulfill, no, I got to chase business, got to chase business, got to chase business, no, I got to fulfill business, got to fulfill, right? Because I said there's that two sides of the calculation. There's the finding new customers and bringing in customers, and there's fulfilling on those customers. And when I am the only person doing both, all right, I can't necessarily do both at the same time. Now, one of the beauties of online businesses is maybe I can. However, one of the things that I'll tell you is even in an online business, there is quite a bit of marketing that has to be done, and you have to be doing those kinds of marketing. So there's still that seesaw. Marketing, 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 fulfill, 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 marketing, 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 fulfill, fulfill, fulfill. And we go back and forth. And what does that do to our revenues? They also go up and down and up and down and up and down. And it's really difficult to grow. As a matter of fact, at that point is when many, many entrepreneurs, well, probably not entrepreneurs, because if you're truly an entrepreneur, this doesn't happen to you, but many people who go into business for themselves throw up their hands at this point and go, this is way too hard. I'm not doing this. I'm going to go out and get myself a job. I don't want to work this hard anymore. Right? And in my story, I kind of went through that, not in the sense of that my business got too hard. The business that I was doing as a contractor dried up. And I was sitting there thinking, I don't know how to go get new business. I'm just going to go get a job. So I went and worked in corporate America for a while, which was also great because now I have this understanding of what it's like to go and work for a big corporation and be laid off by a big corporation, right? Because here I'm in there, I was a contractor, so I'm used to giving it my everything and really giving them everything I had. So I excelled pretty much in there, but then, higher ups in the corporation, because where I am is down here and they're up here, basically decided I made too much money, and whoop, I got laid off. And that's when I went, you know what? I'm not sure I like this whole idea of having somebody else control my life and my ability to be able to make a living. I've always done very well for myself. I'm going to go back out on my own. And I went out on my own. Now, it wasn't this business, that business. It was a business doing website design and custom software. And I learned a lot there too. I learned a lot of what not to do, because I was the only one in the business. So this whole world of chasing the business, that seesaw, is what I had to deal with. And, I was really getting to the point of going, maybe I should just go out and get another job. And that's when I met my first coach. And they helped me to see how I needed to structure that business in order to be successful. And from there, I decided to go into coaching and start to help other people learn how to have their business be successful for them, so that they too can get this wonderful understanding of what it is to run your own business, to be your own boss, to be able to set your own schedule. Right? Now, many of you are going, yeah, absolutely, that's what I want. But I want you to understand that it takes something to get there. Right? If you're working for yourself and you're going to go, well, okay, well, I'm only going to work 3 days a week because I work for myself, you may not get to the kind of growth that you need to have if you start out that way. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it might not work, right? You have to have an understanding of what it's going to take to make it all happen. All right. So let me answer a question that comes up a lot. All right. And that question is, how do I understand what I should invest in marketing? That answer isn't super easy, just so you know. All right. But there are some simple places to look. Okay. The first place to look is, what is your allowable acquisition cost? Okay. Now, I'm fairly certain that what I just said, you're kind of like, what does that mean? Well, your allowable acquisition cost is how much can you buy a customer for? And yes, I did say buy a customer, because ultimately that's what you're doing in marketing. You're buying customers. All right. So how much can you invest in a customer without losing money on that customer? All right. So for example, let's say we're a 5 and 10 store. And I know there really aren't those around anymore, but let's say we're, one of these discount stores. Everything's under $1. Right? We have those around. And so if I were to look at my average sale in that business, probably $10. So people are going to come in, they're going to pick up a few things, and that's it. Okay? Might not even be that high, right? If most of the stuff in the store is $1, all right, I might not even have an average of $10 per sale. Okay? So if I pay $10 to bring a customer in, and they on average pay $10, I'm not making any money, because I haven't even taken into account the fact that whatever they bought, I had to pay for, right? So I have to understand what's an allowable acquisition cost. Now, if I truly understand my business, and let's say that that business will make something up. Let's say that the margin on that business is 75%, which means of every dollar that someone spends, I paid 25 cents for what they're buying. I'm going to keep 75 cents. All right. And I know that my customers really love shopping with me. So once I've got them in the door, they're likely to come back again and again and again. And let's say that average is 10 times. All right. That would mean that my $10 sale is actually $7.50. But my lifetime value of that customer is 10 times that, or $75. Okay. So now when I say, well, it cost me $10 to get a customer, that's not such a bad deal. It cost me $10 to get $75. So I made $65. Hey, if somebody told me that if I went to the bank and I gave them $10, they were going to give me $65 in return, I think I'd go to the bank a lot. Wouldn't you? So this understanding of our numbers is critical in understanding how much we can invest in marketing. And I did say invest, because it is an investment. And that's the other piece of really understanding investments in marketing, is I have to look at it as an investment, which means I have to measure it constantly to know what's the return I'm getting on my investment. Because if I'm not getting a positive return on my investment, then I'm throwing money away. It's critical that I understand what my return on investment is. And if I know that I'm getting a positive return on my investment, then why would I limit how much I invest in it? Unless I need to limit the number of customers because I can't support more than that many of customers, right? That's why I have to understand my marketing and my delivery. So I hope that this has been like really giving you guys some ideas about what's possible, what you need to understand, and what's going to make the biggest difference for you. So please remember, put your comments or your questions in so that I can get your specific question answered. All right. I really want to answer your specific question. So make sure that you get that in so that I can answer your specific question. All right. The ultimate reason for business is to get and keep customers for as long as you can. Ultimately, that's what business is all about, right? How you do that is your business, right? But every business is about getting and keeping customers, right? Keeping them coming back, keeping them investing. Now, there's a lot of ways we can do that as far as how do we get money from our customers. Like I was talking about, the retail store could be something more like a service industry, right? Maybe you're a massage therapist and you want to be doing massages for people and your business is giving massages, right? Well, then you have to understand, how do I bring in more people that would be interested in getting massage from me? And how do I make sure that I keep them coming back again and again and again? Now, if I'm talking about being a massage therapist and I now want to scale, okay, there's a whole other conversation there, because as a massage therapist, I'm trading time for money. All right. I have to physically be there doing a massage to get the money. Therefore, I'm trading time for money. All right. And if I want to scale that, I only have so many hours in a day that I could be massaging someone. So my scaling of that is limited, unless I want to start to bring in other massage therapists and then manage that they are getting people, and therefore I'm making some money off of their time. Right? So that's kind of the world of how we start to think about scaling and growing a business from that perspective. Now, if my business is more around information, all right, information I can sell to as many people as I want. Right? If it's around products, I have to deliver on those products. Right? So there's a lot of different ways we could be delivering the value to our customers. And we just need to look at what is the one that works for us, what's the one that we want to provide, and make sure that we're delivering on that. All right, so I hope that you guys got some real value from today. I'm going to wrap this up with one more conversation around the workshop that's happening next week. It's also going to be live, just so you guys know. This it's going to be very similar to this in the sense that I'm going to be live teaching all of this information in an in-depth platform, all right, so that you can truly get an understanding of what's possible for your business and how you get there. All right. So make sure that you get either into the Facebook group, Master Business Growth, or you register for the Master Business Growth workshop, which you can get to by going to go.thebiz.coach/master growth. All right. So that's go.thebiz.coach/master growth. You can go and get yourself registered for this amazing free workshop. Right? I did say it's free, right? And why is it free? It's free because I'm committed to making sure that this value of what's possible for business owners is available to all businesses, especially in today's environment. Whether you're just looking to get started, you are just getting started, or even if you've been in business for years, I want you to have access to what's possible in your business. So, unless there's some last comments or last questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to thank you for being with me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to invest with me. I look forward to seeing you in our workshop next week. Thank you, everybody.